So we can get started today. Any questions from yesterday's class? Are you clear on how to install Jenkins? Have you tried to install it? If you have tried to install it, then have you faced any issues? Okay. So once you install it, so Jenkins by default, the port Jenkins ports is, what is Jenkins port? 8080.
Yeah.
8080, yes. That's a default port. 8080 is the default port. And you have to mention the address of it. So for example, let me go here, ipconfig. What's my IP address here? 192.168.43.197. I have lots of windows. Let me close these. Or I just say localhost. No, simply localhost. And okay. So this is how your Jenkins, the front view looks like. Okay, I have so many jobs that are running from previous classes, but we're not going to use any of these jobs. We're going to start creating from the beginning. So let me walk you through what are the different. Did I show you all these things? No, right? So I will show you what are the server level configurations. What are the server level configuration that you put here. So configure system. If you click on this, and you will have some system related Jenkins. This is the home directory of Jenkins. Okay, and number of executors. By default it is 2. What do you mean by number of executors? Number of build jobs simultaneously can run at the same time. Okay, how many jobs that you want to run it. As you can see here on the left hand side here, there are 2 jobs. Okay, those 2 jobs are idle. Right now they are showing as idle. So but you can run 2 jobs. Okay, number of executors, 2 executors, and use this node as much as possible. Okay, so as the name says, this is going to use the more as much as possible, and this is the URL of Jenkins, and this is your email address, so for any notifications if you want, and the other stuff we will see little later. Save, and again go to Jenkins, manage Jenkins, configure global security. If you want to integrate with LDAP, so by default Jenkins has its own database, user database, but if you want to integrate with any third party LDAP server, LDAP is what for what? Authentication, right? So you can integrate with other LDAP servers. Leave credentials. So right now, so if you want any credentials, different credentials that you want to add, you can add it here. So, and reload configuration from disk. You know, it's going to discard all the data that is loaded in memory, and it is going to reload everything from the disk. And manage plugins. As I told here, you know, you can install the plugins, different plugins that you can install. Go to install, and you will see all the installed plugins. Okay, if you go to available, and you will see the plugins that are available, and very easy to install. Just select that plugin and install. Come towards down, install without restart or download install, whichever option is convenient for you, you can choose that. So there are so many plugins. If you see this, you see this. Can you count how many plugins are there? Nearly about 700 plugins are there. Again, the count is going to increase. It's not going to coming down. Okay. And depending on the feature that we wanted, so we will add that. So you have ServiceNow. Heard about ServiceNow? Yeah, I'll show you that. So how to install the plugins if there was nothing earlier. Yes. Go to, I am just, yeah, ServiceNow is a ticketing tool. Yes. Yesterday we have downloaded on Windows machine, right? I have not installed it. I've just downloaded it. So let's see that first, how to install it. So that is this Jenkins. I have extracted it. This is Jenkins on Windows. Just double click that, run it. Next, you can take the default home directory. Finish.
Praveen, which we got that error service start. Is it related to this one, Docker service one?
The Docker service, that is for Docker. The service is stop. Do you want to start it? That's it. It's not an error. It's asking me to start it.
Okay, my question is that
that is not
is
related.
it related to
Nothing. It's not
Jenkins?
related to Jenkins at all.
No, no issue. Thank you.
So once you install it, right? So by default, there is a password. The password is stored here. Secret, program file, Jenkins and secrets. Just go to this folder. There is an initial admin password. Open this. This is the initial admin password. Just paste it here. Continue. So there was a question how to install plugins if there was nothing earlier. So it's going to ask here now whether the install suggested plugins or install plugins later. So choose the first option, install suggested plugins. Anyway, so Jenkins by Jenkins without any plugins, it's no use. Okay, so we have to have some plugins. Okay, so if you select install suggested plugins, we don't have to manually install some of the required plugins. So always choose this suggested plugins. If you miss it out, so for some reason you miss out, you selected install plugins later, then you have to manually select these plugins. Whatever the plugins that you require, you manually select them and install them. Okay, some of these plugins like Gradle and Workspace, Git, SSH, Mailer, and all those things will automatically get installed. Okay, this is how you can configure it on a Windows machine. Okay, and on the Linux machine also. So as the steps I have already shown you. No, so if it is it already installed, or is this first time that you have installed it? If it is first time that you have installed, no matter it is a Windows machine or Linux machine or Mac, you will get that option. Even if you are using previous version also, you will get that option. Okay, so have you installed it on your what machine? Is it a Windows machine or Linux machine? Okay, then it doesn't matter if it is Windows or Linux, the process is same, and you will have it will show you a directory, where the initial password is there. Okay, now let's come back to our Jenkins console. If I want to install additional nodes, right, so by default this is a master node. I can have slave nodes, multiple other slave nodes, which can be used to execute my build jobs. Okay, so in a company, so one machine is not sufficient to take care of all build jobs. You require multiple machines. In that case, you install additional nodes here. So we will see how to install that additional node. Okay, so now the very first thing that we are going to do, go to new item. So I'm creating the first job. Okay, my first job. Okay, select freestyle project. You have, these are different steps. Okay, yesterday we kind of discussed a little bit about it, but now we're going to discuss in depth. The general, this is the project name, this is my description. Okay, we're going to look at each and every these things, but before that, so we will go one step at a time. I will directly jump to build. Okay, in the build I'm going to add a Windows batch command. Okay, here I am going to say, do you know any Windows commands? Some Windows commands, can you tell me some Windows command? dir, Windows, right? Go to dir, see, it's going to list all the directories. Same thing that I'm going to specify here. A simple job, it's very simple basic job. Okay, just to see our Jenkins job is getting executed or not. Save. Now, how to execute this job? You see there is a build now option. Click on this build now. And you would see the output here. On the build history, this is output. You see the blue color, right? The blue ball means success. A red ball means it's fail. Okay, there is no green ball here. It's a blue ball only. And I can see the output. There is a console output here. I can see the activity that has happened here. What command that we executed? We executed dir c:. So it is showing all this directory list. It has displayed on the console. Where is your workspace? This is where your workspace is. So whatever jobs that you create, that will be in your workspace. See workspace, I have created my first job, right? It's empty. Right now there is nothing there. I don't want to display it here. I want to copy the content to a file. How do I do that? You go back to project, click on back to project, click on configure, dir C drive. I am going to put it in a text file. Where is this going to store? This is going to get saved in your workspace directory. Save it. How do I build it? Click on build now. And it is success. See the output, console output. Do you see any output here? You don't see the output because it has put everything into dir directory. There is a dir text file has been created. This has all the information. Whatever the command that we passed, that has the information. Now go back to your project. Go back to dashboard. So you can see this last success. This is my first job. This is the job that I have created. It was executed 30 seconds ago, 40 seconds ago. It is automatically getting, screen is automatically getting refreshed because I have enabled refresh here. On the right hand side, you will see disable auto refresh, enable auto refresh. So it's better to enable auto refresh to know what's happening. So job was executed 50 seconds ago. Now I can build the job from here itself, from the jobs. I don't have to go there. I can, if I just simply click this, and you can see the job is getting executed here on the left hand side, build executor status. We see my mouse icon. The job is getting executed. Okay. If you run multiple times, see what happens. Just wait for some time. The job was executed just now. Wait for 1 minute to run it again. Last success 5.5 seconds, 4.4 seconds. So it was quick. So it is not even showing up here. Before it shows up here, it is getting executed. To see how many jobs were completed, go to this job. You see this many jobs that were executed. I just click. Do you see this? What is this? The weather condition. Weather condition. It's nice. It's nice and sunny. Okay. I will go to this job. I will say, instead of, I will give you a wrong command. There is no dir12 command is there, right? So I will build now. It failed. You see, dir12 is not recognized as internal command. Okay, you see the status here, the red color. Go back to your project, go back to dashboard. What do you see here? One of last five bills have failed. So 80% success you have, 20% failure you have, right? There is 80% that you see. So now what I'm going to do, I will rerun again. The weather report, see, is a little bit cloudy and sunny. Yeah, it's cron job only. We're going to define cron here. Yes, you're right. You see, now the weather it's become cloudy. 2 out of 5 jobs failed. Again, I'm executing. What happened? Still executing it, in progress. Now you see, it's dark clouds and raining. One more time. It's complete dark and thunderstorms. One more time. I'm doing it. What is saying? 4 out of 5 bills have failed. We will fail the 5th one also. All recent bills have been failed. If you see your weather report is something like this, so that means there was some issue with your bills. By just looking at this, icon, so we can tell there is something wrong with this build. Okay, anyway, you are going to see the status here. Okay, but this only going to show you the recent status, the current build status, but this will tell you any of the recent builds that have been failed. Configure. So let's remove this. dir. Okay. Now I'm going to create another job. Okay. The job name I'm going to call it as my second job. Same Maven project. Okay. I'm just simply going to say add a build step, execute shell. I'll say instead of C drive, I'm going to say D drive. Save it. I will create one more job. New item. My third job. So we'll just explore, all different options that are available here. Okay. Go to build step, execute Windows job. No, there is no limit. Just all depends on your requirement, and it all depends on your server capacity. Okay, there was a question. Is there any count of max nodes to execute at a time? No. So how do I specify that? So how many builds that I want to execute it? So you go to manage Jenkins. Here, number of executors. Okay, you just add. So you will see once I apply, suppose I just say 10. Okay, save. You see 10 build jobs can be executed simultaneously, but this is going to put a lot of overhead on your system. One system executing 10 different jobs or 10 systems executing 10 different jobs, which is better? So 10 systems executing 10 different jobs is always better, right? So obviously, you will have more systems to do the jobs, okay, to do your build activities. So what did we do? So we have created uh, 3 jobs, right? First job, second job. Did we create a third job also? No, we created third job also, right? Yeah, my third job. So we have created 3 jobs. Now I will go to my first job. Configure. What is the activity? dir C drive. Save. And I will go to. I'm going to establish relation between these 3 jobs. Okay. I'll go to my second job. Configure. Go to build section, or not build. Build already we have. This is the command that is going to get executed. Here you will see an option build after other projects are built. So I want to build this job 2 after job 1 is finished. After first job is finished. My first job. I want to execute my second job only when the first job is finished. And when the first job is stable, when the first job is successfully finished, then only I want to execute. Trigger even if the build is unstable. Trigger even the build fails. Okay. So select that, save it. Before saving, after second job is finished, I want to execute my third job. So I will go to post build actions. Here go to post build, add a post build action. Build other projects. I want to execute my third job. See the relation. The second job is establishing the relation between first and third. Second job is watching the first job. If the first job is successful, the second job will get executed. After second job is executed, the post build action is execute the third job. Save it. Now go to dashboard, or we'll go to the first job and we will execute this build now. You see the 14th was executed, and go to dashboard, go to my job, my second job, or last success. We'll see the last success. Okay, so there is an issue here. Why? Started by upstream the first job. We'll see the console output. What does it say? Why is it? What is the problem here? So the second job is failed. Do you think the third job is going to run since the second job is failed? Third job never ran because second job is failed. What is the issue? By looking at the console output, can you tell me? Maybe if you can see first 4-5 lines, you can first 6-7 lines, you will be able to figure it out.
The system cannot find the file specified.
Okay, what is that file?
It could be Windows template.
We did not give any
Jenkins.
We did not give any temp, right? We did not give any Jenkins.
There is a second.
Okay, so here the problem is, go back to your the second job. Is there any problem here? D is there on my system. D is there. This is where the problem is. I am executing a Unix shell. Execute shell. We have to execute Windows batch command. If you see this, the output, so this is for Unix machine, execute shell. But Windows, for this is Windows, right? So we are running it on Windows machine. So dir save. And if you look at the output carefully here, it says sh. It's trying to execute a sh script with sh. On Windows there is no sh, right? That is why it's saying system cannot find the specified file. Now execute the job one. See if it's going to fail or succeed. Build now. Your second job is getting executed. See here. The downstream job, we call it as upstream downstream. Now it's switched to third job. We have the third job. Okay, you see the all are blue color, so success. The second job is also success. Go to output, console output, no issues here. The same way, if you go to third job, console output, no issues here. So you see the relation here. For third job, upstream job is second job. Upstream job means one above, so it's watching the above, one above this job. And if you look at the second job, for second job, upstream project is first job and downstream project is third job. So this is how you can link your jobs. Okay, you can link up your jobs if there is a dependency on. So one process to be executed first before another process. So in that case, you can have this relationship or upstream downstream relationship established. Okay. So let's see what is the status. Is still downloading. Okay, no problem. Let's go to. Let me go to this job one. Configure. I want to discard old bills. Okay, how many days you want to keep the bills? Okay, how many maximum bills that you want to keep? Okay, that you can save one. Okay, here you say that maximum one bill day only it will keep. All right, so otherwise 1 day job, 1 day, all the next day all the build jobs will be gone. Now, for example, GitHub, right? So GitHub is a public repository. So where you can find some source code there, some people put the code in the GitHub. It's a public repository. Go to github.com. So you should have an account. So when we come to Git, I will show you how to see this. How to create this repository. For some of you, the Git is covered. So here I have a project called Jenkins repo. Okay, open this Jenkins repo, clone or download, select this, copy this. Okay, And what do I have in this Jenkins repo? These are the files that I have. Okay. What do I have in my first job? Let me delete this. Continue. In my first job, there is nothing there. Okay. I will go to my first job. I'm going to say get. Provide that URL. What is it going to do? It is going to download the source code. One of the job of Jenkins is to get the source code. That is the first step. In CI/CD, it is going to pull the source code from the repository. So since it is a public repository, it doesn't require any username and password. If it is a private repository, you need to add the credentials. Click on add Jenkins, you need to put the credentials. But since it's a public repository, you can download it without any username and password. So I'm going to just save this and build. So you see all those builds are gone. How many builds we need to keep? I said only one build, right? It is right now keeping only one build. Okay, click on build now. Go here and see the console output, what's happening. Okay, it says success. The build job is success. Only one build job that we have kept. Go to this folder, refresh it. You have all the files downloaded from the repository. These are the files that I have. So this is your source code, which is downloaded to your local folder, local workspace. Is this clear up to this point? Any questions so far? Okay. Now go back to your project, configure. I want to execute this job remotely. Okay. I don't want to execute it from here. So you need to execute it, go to your Jenkins and execute it, right? You may not have permissions to log into Jenkins. In that case, you need to execute remotely. How do I execute this job remotely? Trigger build jobs remotely. There is an option to trigger your jobs remotely. So you have to provide an authentication. You need to know the authentication code to execute this job. So we provide some authentication code here. So anything 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, or it can be some combination secret kind of thing. Nobody can guess it. Okay, so save it. Before saving it, just see the URL. Okay, what is this URL? It says Jenkins URLs and token name. Let's make a note of it. Paste it here. Save. What is our token? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Done. What is our Jenkins URL? Localhost colon 8080. What is the token name? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. How many jobs executed so far? 17 jobs. Okay. Just I'm going to delete this everything from the folder. So it will re-download. It is not going to show you any output. Okay, but you will see it here. So 18, it's successful, and you see the files, right? So this is if you want to execute your jobs remotely, and go to configure. So suppose I just don't want to discard the bills, and just remove this. Poll SCM, I told you right yesterday, poll SCM. So this is a cron job, kind of cron job. You specify the minutes, hours, date of month, date of week. So if you specify star, 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 it's continuously checking your source code. Whenever there is a change to your source code, it will get updated. So this is where my source code is. Okay, right now the job is 18th job. Now I will go and make some changes to my source code. This is my source code. So I'll just go to this blockchain. Click on edit here. Edit this file. I just make a change here. Okay, some more changes we will make. I'll just remove one of my phone number. Save it. Okay, so we have made some changes to our source code. So it's going to continuously monitoring your source code. Okay, so we said minutes, 1 minute. So next minute, it has to start the job. We'll wait for some time. You see, the 19th job is getting executed because it checked your source code and it found that there is a change. It's getting executed. And I should see the changes here. Refresh it. And I have updated my phone number here. I've changed my phone number. I removed one of my phone number. Okay, so that you see it here. Okay. Now configure. So I'll just take it out. Instead of polling SCM, you can also build periodically. So more or less these are same. If you want to not to poll SCM, but you want to build every minute, for example, again you specify. It doesn't matter whether SCM is going to change or not. I want this build to happen every minute. Save that. So again 20th job will get executed. If you are not using Git, or if you are using some other source code management like Mercurial, Subversion, you can choose those. Okay. Mostly it is Git is a very popular. Git is the most widely used. We have seen trigger builds remotely, build after other projects build, and we have seen build periodically, build when a change is pushed to Bitbucket, which is Bitbucket is also like GitHub. Okay, Whenever there is change push to GitHub, it is a GitHub hook trigger from Git SCM polling. So you have some hooks that you can configure for GitHub. So whenever there is a change in the GitHub hook, that can be triggered. Okay, so some settings related to this GitHub here. GitHub apps is a personal access token. So this kind of authentication, different authentications, right? Security. Clear so far? Practice it. If you don't practice it, probably I think while I'm teaching it, it looks, yeah. So it's simple, or everything looks, easy, but when you start practicing it, you may encounter a lot of issues. Make a note of those issues and you can ask me next class. So if you want to delete the workspace, right? So here I have all these files. I want to delete these files before the build actually starts. So 21 got executed. So 849, 850 every minute. So this will be removed. All of them will be removed. The workspace will cleaned up before it actually starts a build again. Right now the time shows 8:44 p.m. So it's cleaned up, right? It's gone. Created again. Right now the time 8:51. 22 job is created. The 22 job deleted and recreated. So I'm going to remove that periodically. Every minute it's going to, as long as Jenkins is running, it's going to do that job. So I just remove this. Okay, so it's clear right up to this point. So what have we discussed today? Upstream, downstream jobs, and we have also discussed different parameters, how to execute these build jobs, how to get the source code from GitHub, and different parameters within the build parameters, post build actions. Okay, some triggers, build triggers, all those things that we have discussed today. Okay, and tomorrow also we will continue with the Jenkins. Next another 2-3 classes it will be Jenkins only completely. And so tomorrow we will see some Jenkins pipelines, delivery pipelines, build pipelines, and we will also see how to create slave nodes, and we execute the jobs on the slave nodes. Instead of, this is Jenkins master server. Instead of executing in the master server, we will execute it on the slave node. And we will also see, if time permits, we will see some Ant build jobs, like how to create using automated build tools, how to create a artifacts is nothing but your output, the web application or exer, those these are all source code, right? Source code is converted into a jar file or var file or exer, or web application. So we'll see how to do that using Ant and Gradle. Okay, so any questions? Okay, that's it for today. Keep practicing it. So if you're not practicing, then we have so many tools to discuss. Okay, so if you're not practicing with me, then you will be behind. Okay. Again, thank you. Thanks for joining. See you tomorrow at same time, 8 p.m. IST. Thank you.